April the 9th. We're going to be continuing our class. This is technically our last lesson in terms of using the software with UX UI design. As you know, we've been using Figma for the past several weeks. And we're also basing that last project that you're handing in on Figma as well. So next week will be like more like an overall review. Perhaps I'm going to do some other cool things you can integrate with the software, with Figma, of course, and some plugins and some other options, like converting your stuff into HTML, things like that. So this is technically the last class in terms of your delivery. And I did give you as much time as I could for your projects to be handed in for this class. So you are going to be doing the prototyping for the website, and today I'm going to show you how to convert it to a mobile app. So having said all that, let's get started, and I'm going to share my screen right now. As always, just let me know if you can see my screen okay. I got Paladin joining me online. Paladin, let me know if you can see my screen. Thank you very much. Perfect. Alrighty. I'm going to close out the Teams here. Okay, so like I said, we're going to cover some of these. Now, these are XD plugins, so I'm going to be showing you these plugins for Figma, of course. I don't mind showing you XD plugins as well, so maybe we can mix it up a little bit. This is all XD files, so you know they're like stuff I used last semester. As you know, this semester we did relay things over to Figma because it is the thing going forward. So I'm going to redo some of these things with you today, and next week we're going to teach you some other methods as well. Okay, with our last part I'm going to do. Okay, so more importantly, let's just go to Figma and continue where we left off. Okay, just to show you what this stuff is, scrolling with animation 3. Because all these things that you can see in XD, I can show you in Figma. So it is a good reference file. And then we'll update maybe the Figma files later on as well. So let me just download this one quickly to show you what this is. This is the mobile version. This is like, honestly, like a little dinky exercise. I'm going to get rid of it, actually, because it shouldn't even be there. Simple carousel copy 1. That's an XD file. I'll leave that one as well. Faded rollovers. That one can go also a little. And masking can go as well. All right. So these are all some of the things we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to be opening this file here. So just bear with me for a second. I know this is an XD, but you'll get a reference of how it works in Figma as well. And sometimes the way things work in XD do not exactly work in Figma either. So just keep that in mind. However, it's good to understand the difference between the two and your capabilities and your limits. All right, more logins. All right. So this is just a simple, I think we demonstrated this last class. So you can kind of have a quick review on this one, how it works. Because this one does it's like a one-page website if you want to do like a mock-up like this one. And it does a simple navigation. So maybe today I'm going to do, instead of doing like the 4-page website thing, remember last week we did, let me open up both programs so you're familiar with the explanation better. I'm going to open Figma here. There we go, perfect. All right, so last week we kind of did a little bit of this stuff, right? The only thing I didn't do though, remember this image scrolls down to that portion, then you click to go back and all these wonderful things. What I wanted to show you today was how to do like a proper overlay and how to control a different way your portfolio can be presented with Figma, and also how to maybe do like a instead of going to different pages like this one here, how to do like a scrollable website, because that's also something that's I see more and more designers do as well, like a one-page scrolling website as opposed to 4 separate pages. Now, with that, you also want to execute the portfolio section as well. All right. Open this in the editor version. All right. So if I zoom out here, you can clearly see the 4 pages that we made and some floating elements. Now with XD, it's a different type of concept. As you know already, the style is very similar with the 2 programs. But to achieve, so last week's lesson, we covered this. You can watch that video. I'm not going to repeat myself and bore you to, go over the same thing over and over again. But in comparisons, this is like a 1-page web page version of a prototype, and this is like a multiple page version. Now today I'm going to show you how to convert this one into like a mobile design as well, and the challenge for me is to do it in Figma, not XD. And so, trust me, I get them too mixed up still till today when I do one thing from another, because the terminology is a little different. A component's a component. I know those things carry for both, but some of the other stuff is a little different. With the only one big different thing is called frames. Figma loves to use frames for pretty much any type of situation, whether it's an advanced item that's interactive, whether it's a component, or whether it's an artboard. Frames is the way to go. Whereas XD uses more like the artboards. Artboards are strictly artboards, and there's no frames here. There's no frames in XD. There's tools and objects and images and buttons and components, but there's no frames. So frames is the biggest takeaway from a designer's perspective on the 2 programs. And of course, some of the functionality and interface differences as well. So let's just go ahead and see how this one works out. I'm going to hit the play button. This is a simple portfolio website with a logo here. About simply scrolls down to the About section. Portfolio scrolls to the Portfolio section, and Contact scrolls to the Contact section. So it's like a scrollable, menu-oriented portfolio. And of course, this is where your social media buttons are to go to the social media icons, right? So these go to like your respective links that you have. But all in all, you can do a lot of stuff just with this concept alone. For example, you go here, then you open up your portfolio. Maybe today we're going to do how to open this up in a separate window. You know how you open up the window like that? And you click away to close it? Very simple. And we can actually do that. Simple and effective. You don't have to watch YouTube tutorials to get more fancy things out there. You can honestly do a lot with simplicity. You just have to know how to execute it. So today, my goal is to do that. And look, once you grab that confidence, knowledge of the program, of course, you can watch the YouTube videos and do more advanced things with prototyping and whatever. There's another 15 weeks we can get into that stuff, okay? But the main foundation is the key. Once you grasp that, everything else is just added on. But everything else, like whether it's Photoshop, or InDesign, or Illustrator, there's always more to learn, right? So as long as you can execute this and put a professional portfolio together and then convert it to like a mobile design, that's what I want you to do. All the other bells and whistles, you can always learn that. Okay, so this is on the agenda for today. I want to make sure you know how to do this, and then how to open up the portfolio elements as well. Another thing I want to do is convert it to a mobile design. Again, let's do an XD comparison. This is an XD prototype. So this desktop was converted into a mobile app. Because don't forget, that's the last requirement for this project. You can do a desktop version, but I want you to do a mobile version. And then, yes, you can actually show this off in your portfolio, okay? Because there's, like what's going to differentiate you from other designers is your skill and your talent and your portfolio. So the more you show, everyone's going to have Photoshop in their portfolio. Everyone's going to have Illustrator and InDesign, but not everyone's going to have Figma and XD. Okay, not everyone. A few people will. But when you bring more to the table and you say, look, I can do prototyping for mobile apps, for websites. I can also code a website. I can also use Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign. When you drop all these things and you have a nice portfolio, people are going to look at you a little differently. Okay? Than just showing up to do Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign files. This is why these things are strong strong weapons to have in the portfolio. Okay, so let's see how this works. Because this one is a simple design as well. You start here. It's like a mobile app. And yes, what's more impressive, I can open this up on my phone and I can show people what it looks like, right? That's what I love about these prototypes. So you can go ahead and click on the button. It opens up the menu. Then you close the menu, right? So open and close. How to do this in Figma, I'm going to show you, right? And then these buttons here, you click, goes to the home page, biography page. Oh, look, who's this guy? What the heck? And then there's the portfolio, right? Portfolio, well, this is my old portfolio. And contact, right? And look, other, right? If you have other, you might have a photography background, you might have a 3D background. Put it in there. The more skill, the better, right? Even if you're an engineer. Well, if it's kind of creative, I don't want to put technical stuff in there, right? So, if you have other creative talents, bring them to the table. Now, let's go to portfolio because this is where the good stuff happens. You ready? Let's click on this little ad here that I did probably like 8 years ago. And there it is, right? And then you can actually, I think we did one of these here, like a draggable portfolio. You can do that. That's also nice, right? Then when you open it, it shows up in a bigger view. And then you can just close it, open and close it, right? So this is a nice thing to have in your mobile design, right? So you can open it and close it, right? Nice. And then you click on another portfolio piece. It takes you to the same page. So it's nice to have this thing on your phone because everybody looks at their phones now, and you're gonna have a portfolio. Maybe not everyone has a real app. I know companies that are making $10 million a year profit, and they don't have an app. Okay? They don't have an app. They don't care. Maybe they'll get an app one day, but most people that have apps are corporations, like bigger companies, right, or entities. Yeah, I see some small businesses with apps. Not gonna discount them. But the reality is, not a lot of people have apps. Okay? So if you make an app for yourself and you can say, look, my portfolio's on an app, it looks kind of cool too. All right. So we're going to build an app today in Figma, and we're going to build like a basic prototype of that website, that one-page scrolling site. So I'm going to start with Figma because with XD, I mean, we kind of did this already, the simple stuff in the previous ones. And to be honest with you, Figma's kind of taking over the industry here. Now, here's the thing about XD. It's not going anywhere. You can still use it. And a lot of people I know still use software that expired a long time ago because they still delivers what it does. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get a job and they require you to know Figma or something newer, you'll have to keep up with the trend, keep up with the skill level, okay? So let's go ahead and start with Figma right now. I'm even going to open up a new document here, okay, just to keep it nice from scratch like we normally do. So go to my drafts. So I'm going to start with a new file. I'm going to keep it simple, okay? I'll bring a few images here and there, but it's all about the box concept design, prototyping, execution on links and things like that, right? So new design file, okay? So all I have is a blank board here. I'm going to start with a simple frame tool. This is the main difference. The main ticker is right there. This frame tool, it's not just for creating artboards, but it's for all these other important interactive elements that go into artboard. So it's like boxes inside boxes, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw like a website page like that. And speaking of a web page size, I'm going to go over here and do what's called layout grid. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what do I need a grid for? The grids are good, but do you remember this? We did this in Photoshop even way back last semester. You can change this to, instead of a grid, you go to columns. You see columns or rows. So columns is when you want to do a website. Now, I do apologize for not covering this last week. I kind of started like, oh my goodness, I didn't cover the columns. But it's okay, I'll show it to you now. And it's not the end of the world if you don't do the columns. Honestly, it'll still work like a prototype. But it gives you a nice, concise design guidance. So you know exactly where things are. And it goes in hand with your HTML. Because, when you bring things into a responsive coding system, columns are good. Because remember, 12, look at this, 12, because it's divisible by 4, 3, 6, 2, 12, 1, right? a lot of divisible numbers. And we're also gonna do, you know, the gutter. Maybe I'll do it, maybe like 14 pixels or something, so it's smaller. Maybe I'll do like 10. And the margins, okay, we're gonna do, let's do the margins here. Maybe 20. $50 margin, that's good, okay? So 50 pixel margin. What size is this design? Well, I'm gonna make it for a MacBook. I'll stick with the MacBook Air. I also like this size here. The 1440 is not bad. It's the wider version, right? Notice how the grid will automatically configure itself based on that. Okay, so there's a 1440 dimension. Okay, so I'm using a desktop size, 1440 by 1024, right? Okay, 1440 by 1024. And any one of these will work just fine, okay? No one's gonna say, well, because everyone has different devices, different computers, different laptops. Somebody likes 15-inch screens. Somebody likes 18-inch screens. Somebody likes, you know, to have dual monitor. You've seen, like, you go to like Best Buy, you see those monitors, they're like this long, right? Remember the long ones for the gamer monitor? You can fit like 3 monitors horizontally. How do you put a website on that? You can't. I mean, realistically speaking, you gotta have a limit of a width. So these are the numbers that you have. I would give a rule of thumb. Don't go less than 1200 pixels. Don't go more than 1900 pixels. Anything between that number is the sweet spot. So any numbers go, right? Don't go less than 1200. Don't go more than like 2000 pixels or 1920. So I'll go with right in the middle, 1440, 1024. And back to my grid here, just to kind of configure this thing. The margin now, I'm going to make it 100 pixels, and the gutter will be 20 pixels. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to build a simple little website. I will stretch it longer, so it'll be like a scrolling website. So teach you how to do a one-page scrollable website. There's nothing wrong with that. In that case, I'm going to extend it lower. You know, the height will be like roughly 2200 pixels, maybe even more. I'm going to have a menu up here that sticks. I'm going to have some images and some text and some other elements there. I will borrow some stuff from that folder. So let's do a menu really quickly. I'm in design mode, by the way. I'm going to go to my rectangle element here. Okay. And just draw. Well, let me show you something else here. We're going to go. Let's just do a rectangle for now. Right. I'm also going to place some of the buttons up here as well. And you can always hide the grid on and off. Just by going to the little visible here, if it does get in the way, the grid, sorry, the columns, the guide, the column layouts, you can always hide them, right? The height for this is going to be 140, just to keep a nice simple number. I'm going to put some very simple menus here, okay? I will put some real text just so we can identify them. So you're going to have things like the home button is going to be there. Command Shift, homey, home. Okay, so this will be, perhaps I'm going to use 22 pixels. Maybe I'll just for for preview purposes, I'm going to make it nice and large so you can see it. Okay, so this will be the home button. Maybe I'll make it even bigger, 30 points, right? I'm going to option drag this over here, right? I'll even do Command D a few times just to make multiple buttons. I'll do 4. That's enough, I think. This will be like my bio, okay, button. This will be portfolio. and this will be contact, right? Because those are the most four important things you want to put in your portfolio section. The social media icons can go there. You can link into external links, things like that. I already, that's pretty much easy to do, so I'm not going to waste time showing you all those little things. But maybe I'll do one just to show you an external link so you understand how it's done in case you forgot. So I'm going to go over here now and do what's called distribute horizontal spacing. So it's all nicely distributed horizontally, and it's good to go this side here. All right. And you can put a logo and all the other nice elements that you've seen. I mean, you can look at website templates out there. Look at some other professional designers, what they have, right? Like this stuff is always changing, right? So the main thing is your links should work, the navigation and your portfolio. And I'm just going to hide the columns for now, right? Nice and simple here. Okay. So when it comes to your other elements here, I know we did some text and some buttons. I'm going to go ahead and put a text box here. So we talk about your website. All right, so I'm just going to quickly copy and paste this here. All right. I'm going to put like an image or some kind here. Maybe not too much text, but you get the idea. I'm going to flush it right here. If I want this to match my exact HTML exportation after, and yes, I'll show you how to export stuff through HTML. You can export PNGs, JPEGs. Your prototype could be exported for your website build. Okay, so you still have to do the coding. However, when I do show you the plugin next week, we can literally convert XD to a website, sorry, Figma to a website using those plugins. Some of them will ask you to pay them money, like a membership fee. Some of them might want to have a little something. All these guys are in business. They want money. So sometimes it comes down to that, right? Even like the Wix websites and stuff, right? Yeah, they give you a free website, but now if you want your own domain, they have to charge you for that. And guess what? They bill you every year. And two, if you want some of the other bells and whistles, you have to pay for that. So it's all based on membership and subscriptions and these kind of things. Trust me, I know, because I own 3 directories myself, right? So when people want to join my directory, they pay membership fees. Okay, so I split this up within the 6 columns here. I'll put an image block on the next 6 columns. So it's going to go, from one to the next, like that. Right. So here I'm going to have the portfolio section, or no, the bio section will be here. I'm simply going to go and copy this little text here. This will be the bio section. Right? I'm going to put it right in the middle between these two. Right? And here you're going to have a little bit of a bio. So yes, you're going to have an image of yourself, with a nice silhouette, and some bio text of yourself as well. So maybe this can be like this, or like that. Right, so this could be like your bio section. Next, we'll have your portfolio section. So these are all sections. Okay, we're gonna scroll through these sections to have different parts show up. When we click on these links, you'll navigate to the same website. You'll do like an auto scroll. Okay, and we demonstrated that partially last week, but today we're gonna go like all out with it. And we're gonna not only that, put a portfolio thing together, like an image gallery that you can use. So the next section is going to be over here, and that'll be your portfolio section. We'll be right over here. We're going to call this one portfolio. And let's center this nice and perfect like that. You can also use the center alignments here, left or center right, to do the portfolio section. Okay. Going to move this up a little bit so we have more space. This is where I need more height now for this website. So we're going to definitely go here and make the height longer. Zooming out will help us just kind of see everything. And this we're going to have your portfolio gallery. So I'm going to have maybe perhaps a few images like this. Maybe I'll do like a nice 3-column setup, right? So it'll be a nice, not 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Right? This will be the portfolio section. All right. And lastly, we'll have, this will be the home section, bio section, portfolio section, and here you have your contact section. I'm going to simply go ahead and drag this down here, rename it contact, and this will be right in the middle of the whole section here, right? And the contact section is going to have a simple, contact you. Some people like to use forms. Some like to use a little bit of text and stuff. And different things can be your contact information. I'm just going to draw a box here, demonstrate how this will be all played out. Okay, so this is your contact, and then pretty much this is the end. Okay, so this is the copyright 2024. Alrighty, that's usually resembles the end of the bottom of the website. And now we have ready like a basic template to convert this into a real web page, right? And how do you do that? Remember, I asked you to do the wireframe. That's why this is important, because you don't think about, I'm sure you have your plan already. You're doing this in other classes. You're doing a website for the web design class. You're doing a print portfolio for the other instructor there, the other class. You do this in several ways. I know it's competitive. But here you already know what you're doing. You're just kind of building the blocks, showing your skills in the other software. Okay? So this is already done for you. You just have to drag and drop a bunch of pictures in, right? And how do you put pictures in here, right? Well, let's save it first. This is already, it's not even named yet. I'm going to call this portfolio one-pager, okay? Portfolio one-pager. Okay. I'm just going to hide the layout. See, the layout columns, the grid, and I access the columns from there was good until I based my layouts and designs. Once it's all done, I can basically hide it so I can focus more on my design elements, so they can start putting stuff in here, right? This is when now I'm going to have to introduce color, graphics, textures, that kind of stuff. And you would definitely use your same color scheme. You already have that. Some of you have it from last semester, right? So you can just replicate that, maybe tweak it a bit and make it better. So how do we get these sources in here? Let's go to my storage facility and see what I have for some of these images here. Oh, here I have some pics over here. Nice, okay. So I'm gonna, just to show you how easily you can bring in your pics here. Right. So the bio, see this bio picture for a second, right? Remember, XD is different than Figma. XD go like this. If I have XD open, I want to bring in a picture in XD, right? What I did here was the same I did here. Nothing different between XD and Figma. But when you bring things inside, let's say I want to put things in this. I got a triple click here. I want to put things in here. So what I do in XD is I simply drag this image right here, and it should place it in there because it's a replicate. It did that, right? So there's easy placements. Figma doesn't work that way. So I do want to do the takeaways on the majority of issues that I see people kind of having a mix-up with. So this one doesn't work like that. You can drag pictures here. They don't go inside, okay? So the best way to do that is to click on the item, right? To click on the actual fill, because the attribute is right on the right side. And over here is your changing factors. So there you have an option to put a gradient, a solid fill, an image, or a video. The videos, I think you have a different membership level. I think we're all using the free version. But if you have like the pro version, you can put videos. You can do like FigJam, which is collaborate with other teams and that kind of stuff. But for an individual right now, you're good with free. You don't have to put videos in. I don't expect you to put videos in your prototypes, okay? Put a video, maybe put a link to a YouTube channel. That works too, okay? Nothing wrong with YouTube. because it's free. And which server is going to support all your storage facility too? Like even more I see professional websites use YouTube, okay? Because it's free and it's stored on YouTube server, not on their server. When you upload gigabytes of videos on your server, you're gonna pay more money. And it lags and it crashes and all these other problems. That's why most professional entities use YouTube. Okay, so go ahead and let's look. Here we go. That's the gradient. This is the picture option. So once you go here, all you do is you drag and drop the picture into the box like this, right? Oh, you gotta choose an image. I think this is a AVIF file, so I'm gonna pick one of these. Okay, there we go. Try it again. So here's the picture. Drag and drop, right? Once you drag and drop it, the picture should show up right here. And yes, you can round the corners once you zoom in and that kind of nice stuff too. And this is like auto resize. So if you size it to a reasonable position, it should do a nice auto fit, which is very nice. Okay. Having said that, let's put an image in here as well. We'll put a nice nature picture in there. Again, you open up the fill attribute, you go to the picture settings, you simply drag and drop anything you want inside that area, right? And you can put a nice background and all this kind of nice stuff, right? For the contact info, we'll do another fill here. Right, there we go. Okay. And the portfolio, we'll save it for later. I'm gonna do some cool things with that as well to show you I can just put different thumbnails and images, and you can do some cool things opening them up. Actually, let's do one right now so we can have some stuff in there. These are some high quality images. Do you guys mind if I use teeth? Are you okay with that? Huh? This stuff, like, is beautiful stuff though. This work is just wow. Big images too. Right? Like, I'll use some of the creative stuff. Okay, so this one again, you go here, fill, go to the images, drag and drop. Next one. Same thing here. Drag and drop. These are big images too. They're not little. So just bear with me here for a second. I mean, technically, honestly, I would resize these images and make them to fit before I bring them in. So we'll definitely do that if I was to use these pictures. Okay, let's mix it up a bit. I'm gonna put some other images from here. I don't know if these work. Sometimes these images, I don't know if it supports the WebP format. Oh, it does actually. Okay. Yeah, the IVF won't work. Okay, and last one. Look at this one here. This is clicking and dragging. Once you have your, your thing set up, your wireframe, you can easily just drag and drop your stuff in there. And just like that, you open up your fill option, and that's how you drag and drop your files. Very easy, very nice. Okay. Okay, so our layout's done. And again, this is something that, it's going to take you some time. I realize I do it a little fast and easy and make it simple because, that's how we demonstrate these things. And then you do the nice whole finished product when you do your portfolio. Looks way more fulfilled and and better presented with the details, of course, right? So this is all ready to go now, but the difference is when I press the play button, right? When I press the play button here, we're going to do a present, right? It's going to look like this, right? And of course, when you scroll down, you see different things and whatever. Looks like a nice little website. But how do we actually go when we click on these buttons? Because last week we did that and it went to the other pages, right? How do I do when I click on this one, it goes to that section? And how do I stick this so it stays there? So these are things we've done kind of, but not really with the portfolio setting. So I want to make sure I cover that thoroughly today. This way you have a clear understanding and a demonstration on how to execute your portfolio on different levels. So I'm just going to highlight all these very quickly because just to kind of fix it up a bit. Medium size. Okay, good. Make sure this doesn't move, it sticks. So I'm going to select all this. Social media icons, logo, the whole header. You select the whole header, you go under prototype, and you simply go where it says position. Oh, sorry here. Yes, it's recording. This is all being recorded, right? So I don't have the option to have this stick. You know why? Because it's just a bunch of text and a bunch of rectangle pairs, right? It's not declared as a special element. So let's give it a special declaration. Let's call it a thing, okay? Not a component. Let's frame it. Well, frame will make it like its own element. It's like grouping something or making it a symbol. So what we're gonna do is select all these elements here, right? We're gonna right click and we're gonna go frame selection. You can also make a separate frame and make it in that frame and drag it in. But I prefer this way because it goes with my design, right? So I know exactly where everything's gonna go. Okay, so now it's framed. So I have a look, a frame inside a frame. Frame 1, and I have frame 2 in there somewhere. Frames give you the extra leverage to do these extra prototyping techniques, such as the scrolling here, for example, right? You can call it fixed, stay in place. So this whole menu here is going to stay fixed. It's not going to move anywhere when we scroll down because I framed this. So if I press play and I scroll down now, the menu will stay right there, right? Now I can make that navigate to other web pages, or I can have it scroll to a designated target, which is what I'm going to do in this example. I already did the pages last week. So how to do that is I'm going to basically designate some sections here. Some people like to use invisible boxes. I like invisible boxes because they kind of position things in the right way. Or some people target sources. You can do either or, okay? Maybe I'll do the target sources first because it's easier. Sources are already there. And then if that you don't like that, we could target sections. Okay. So let me draw a section actually first. Maybe that's easier. So here's my section. Look at this rectangle here. This rectangle represents a section. I should be in design view when I do this. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to right click, arrange, send it to the back. Right? And I'm going to even color it, you know, something very light. We can see it, but not really. So it's kind of there on purpose. Okay, so it's going to be the bio page. I'll do the same thing for the portfolio page. I'm going to option drag this down here. And of course, this will be a longer design setup. This will be my portfolio page. And the color should differentiate. So we'll pick a different color here. Maybe like a light blue or something for the portfolio page. And for the contact page, I'm going to do the same thing, except call it contact. Change the color as well. Just so, you know, I like working with colors because they do distinguish one section from another quite clearly. Okay. right? You see the colors? Colors work well. And I drew these boxes. Now, some people make these boxes transparent. That means you give them no fill, no stroke, or just make them white with the white background, whatever it is, right? You can make those boxes invisible. Now, the trick is to link the buttons to those areas as we navigate. So in that case, I'm going to go to my menu here, but just keep in mind, this menu is within a frame. See the frame too? So if you double click, you're going to go inside the frame. So this home page, okay, no matter what, I should draw a rectangle here too, just to keep it consistent. I will draw another rectangle. And I'll color it white. And send it to the back. Oops, wrong shortcut. Send to back. It's command semicolon. Oh, because it's in a frame, I have to drag it outside. Maybe over here. To the very back. To the back. There we go. So these are all the rectangles that cover the sections. You can make a folder if you like here to organize them better. Whatever you're comfortable with, you can create. So now, the home button. Now we're going to go to prototype. Prototype is where you navigate all your links, as you know already. Whether it's XD, whether it's Figma, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. So with home button here, I'm going to simply go, right, and target this button to go to this rectangle. It's touching it right there. Because the whole thing's a white fill. We're going to scroll to rectangle 14. I can name it home rectangle or home section, but rectangle 14 is what this rectangle is. Okay, very good. The bio button, okay, same thing. It's going to go to this rectangle here. This one, this pink rectangle. On click, scroll to rectangle 11, right? Okay. This portfolio button, it's going to go down to the portfolio rectangle, the blue one. On click, scroll to rectangle 12, portfolio. And lastly, you have the contact button, double click, and you're going to link that all the way down here, contact. Scroll to rectangle 13. And that's very simple to do. Right? I go back to design view now, hit the play button, and cross our fingers. Let's hope it works. It should. So here we are. This is the home page. This is the bio page. This is the portfolio page. And this is the contact page. But what do you notice that's not that smooth? What's happening here? What's missing? Yeah, it just goes like that, right? It's like doing some kind of ultra what's the word I'm looking for? It's teleport. It's not moving. It's not animated. It's like instant. Right. Or animation, right? No animation. So we want it to be like nice. Like you go to some of these websites, they actually scroll and it's parallax scrolling, whatever they call it. It's a nice smooth animation. So let's go ahead and do that in conjunction with this whole thing. So we're going to go back to prototype. We're going to zoom in and we're going to say, hey, you arrow that connects this to that. Don't just scroll there. We want you to not just animate, instead of instant, do an animation, and you can do ease and out. Yes, sometimes people like to use both. I see a lot of these people on the these designers that do the same thing. They like to use is in and out. It's smoother than just in or just out. You can do either one. So now we just animated, and also you can control the padding. Notice how it was a little off. You control that up and down. So we're going to do a padding of, I don't know, maybe I'll do 430. I think I should do minus. Usually it's on the minus side. You know why? Because it's going to be offsetted from the menu. I'll tell you a nice little formula for you to take home with you. Okay, you like formulas? What's the height of this? This is 140 pixels. That means if I make it minus 140, it's going to be perfectly in that spot. Okay? Minus 140, because that'll compensate for the space from the top to the bottom, because the menu height is 140, right? Make sense? So that means when I connect this button to this rectangle, and whatever I do here with the animate and all that, it's fine. But this should be minus 140 because that's the height of this. And if I subtract it from the total scrolling, it should perfectly fit in there. If I'm wrong, I might tweak it a bit more, but I think it should be dead on. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's go ahead and press play. And we're at the home page anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And this should just be like that. Done, right? But this one now we'll see the results. So when I go to the result page, let's do the bio. This one, scroll to rectangle 11, animate, and this will be minus 140, right? Let's just keep going. Let's do this one too. Click on the link, scroll to rectangle 12, animate, and the offset will be minus 140 because that's the height of the menu. We'll put a negative value because, you know, X and Y coordinates, right? Same thing over here, contact page, click on the link, scroll to, animate it. Oh, I forgot to do easy in and out, minus 140. Let's do this one also, easy in and out. Okay, minus 140. Just to double check, doesn't hurt to double check, right? Easy in and out, minus 140. And this one also is easy in and out at 140. Okay, so that's pretty much what you have to do to make a nice, smooth, scrollable, one-page portfolio website. Okay, so if you want to do something like this, I'm okay with that too. Let's go ahead and press play. And put on your Eclipse glasses for this one, okay? That'll be quick, you're gonna miss it. All right, so here we go, bio, home is here. Bio section, oh, it's a little off, look at this, a pixel off. That's okay, we can always tweak it. Portfolio section, contact section, and any one of these work beautifully, just like that. All right, one page scrollable website. Now wait till next week we'll convert this to a real website in HTML.
So for what we're submitting to you, we don't have to make it like what our real website is.
I want you to use the program and make a portfolio. It should, I mean, ideally, I should tell you, yes, Christine, it's better looking at your website because it's supposed to. But realistically speaking, I can't demand that of you because we do things together. If you're doing this and this at the same time. But if you were to do this in a real life scenario, you would do this prototype first and then convert this to a real website. Okay? So for the requirements, I'll let it go. If I'm not going to say, hey, hold on a second, wait a minute. This doesn't look exactly like that. I can't. I'm in no position to do that because we didn't give you the time. We're teaching you the skills to do things right, but to pair it up.
So it's about the skills, not about.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taught this class last semester, and maybe made it build a website this semester after. Okay, but that doesn't work. We can't just move things. Okay, so we're good. You're here to learn skills and build a portfolio, and become a graphic designer or UX UI designer now. All the things you want to do. Okay, so we're good, right? Except this is off a bit. So let's go ahead, and it's gonna bother me. I'll probably lose sleep over this. So let's go ahead and quickly see oh, look at this, it's off because of this. I should go to design view and move this down. There we go, okay? So I just tweaked it a bit, moved it down, and it should be all fine now, simply by me clicking on the play button. And let's see here. Bio. Perfect. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. Now, what do you want to do next? If we have social media icons, by the way, how do they go to, let's say, LinkedIn and stuff? Quickly to show you that, we'll have to just put a little button here. I'm going to just use a simple circle, elliptical shape. This will be your social media. Right? This could be any social media link that you want. Make sure this is inside frame 2, so it's all together. Very important, so it sticks with the menu. Prototype, okay? Interactions, on click, okay? Open link right there. Open link means open a hyperlink on the browser on the website. If it's like a real website, you can actually make this look like a real website link to go to external web internet links. So in this case, there's this option over here. I mean, we used these other ones before. I'm going to show you some of these other ones later too. So open link, right? And where's the link going to? It's going to go to my dental business directory that I kind of kept on tweaking over and over again. So it's going to go to my websites here. So this is one of my platforms, as you all know. You guys looking for a dentist or maybe dentures for your loved ones or where you want a dentist from? Come visit my directory. So I'm going to copy this URL. I'm going to go back to Figma. I'm going to paste it right here. Okay. And now I'm going to open it in a new tab. I love that option. I wish the government did that on their website. Every time you click on your passport PDF, it closes down. You see that one, right? And all of a sudden you close the window, you're like, oh, shoot. Now I got to log in all over again, these dummies. Right? It could have been a new tab for your passport PDF, and then you can close that tab and go back to your portal. You know what I mean? But no, they didn't enable this link to open up a new tab. Very important. Little things like that. Your portfolio, if you have a PDF or something, your resume, new tab. Don't replace your resume with your website because they're going to close it and go back and realize they closed your website. These little things are important. These are UX fundamentals. So we're going to open up a link, new tab, and let's go ahead and put it in practice. So we have an internal link, scrollable portfolio, okay? And we have a link that goes externally, opens up a new tab, and opens up a website. This will be your social media channel, network, whatever it is. That's how you do it, okay? All right. Now, how do we make this look like a real portfolio in terms of this section, right? Well, I showed you a few methods before with scrolling things, this and that. Last week, I think we did similar navigation stuff. But today, I want to show you when you click on this, I want it to open up like a big picture, right? That's what these Adobe portfolio websites do, and some of the Behance and all that. It's called Lightbox. Lightbox was around even more than 10 years ago. I remember when I first implemented Lightbox in my website, and we did like a script, a JavaScript with CSS, and it darkened the background. You know what I'm talking about? It dimmed the background, and the picture became more prominent. It's called the Lightbox effect. As soon as you close it, it goes back to the gallery. That was a big thing. My fashion marketing students all use Lightbox for their interior decorating portfolio. Because they have a website that was part of their thesis or whatever you want to call it. Part of the product. So we're going to do the same thing right now in Figma. We're going to open these pieces individually, and they're going to open up in a new window like that, called the Lightbox effect. Here, let me show you, in case you're wondering, what's he talking about? Lightbox. What's a Lightbox? Lightbox example. Lightbox examples. Okay, here we go. Well, these are just some more tedious things you can do. I don't think this was the best example here that I pulled up. Let me see here. Here, right? See this? So when you click on the image, like, you know, a membership or something pops up and the background gets dimmer. You know what I'm talking about? I think Amazon has it on their shopping cart too. So this window is clear, but the background is dim to like, I think 50% black or something like that. So it's like dim version. And that's how a lot of people like to showcase their portfolio section, right? Here, let me do Lightbox portfolio example. Portfolio examples. And if I can't find it, I'll just show you the, oh, here is one here. Oh, these guys are selling templates. Okay, you get the idea, right? The window shows up. I'm going to show you anyways in Figma how this works. But I'm sure a lot of websites have this portfolio example as well. Okay, so let's make it happen in this section here. Okay. All right. So to do that, we're going to go back to our design. Okay. We're going to zoom out, right? Because what zoom out is the key here. And these are just images. Chances are you have a bigger picture or version of these images somewhere on your computer. So I'm going to drag this image over here, option drag, or just drag another image outside the box. Okay. Yeah, you can duplicate them. Yeah, you can do that. I'm going to make this a little bigger. How big am I making this image? As big as it looks on my presentation. So it's going to look like this. Look at that. That's how this image will look like. Right? So I'm going to use this as a template for the other images. So I'm going to move it back here. So that was me trying it out, like trial and error, to see how it's going to look like. Right? Let's do the same thing with this one. Option drag. Over here. I love Figma because it does the auto resize. Right? So there's the second one. There's the third one. Sometimes you can put it to the front. Oops. It's the shortcuts I'm used to. Okay. There we go. It'll be over here. Another one over here. Option drag. If it doesn't fit, you have to just kind of put it on top. Command. There we go. Command right square bracket is a shortcut to get these pictures to perfectly line up in the area. This one. So I'm just bringing these pictures a lot bigger than my viewing area. So it looks like a portfolio design. I'm just duplicating them. Okay. So that's what I did, right? It looks like a 6-up thing, but no, they're going to load individually. They're not going to be a carousel and things like that. I mean, you can just do a draggable thing, like I showed you in the other examples from 2 weeks ago. This will be, maybe we'll do it on the mobile app, just to kind of differentiate it a bit. But this will be individually opened up on this thing here, okay? So you copy them and make sure one of them, like notice how I matched them very accurately, because if I bring one of them here, it's going to look that big, you see, right? So this is called the setup. And you would put your best 6 portfolio pieces in there, and you can put description and stuff. Look, you can dress this up and put some other stuff here, make it a frame and that kind of thing, right? So now, how do we link this up with our gallery, right? This is an outside external elements or pictures that are outside. Make sure they're all up to the corner. So what you have to do now is you zoom in, you click on the first thumbnail, which is this one. Which image will this open up? This image is going to open up this bigger image right here. Oh, sorry, it won't work until we make it into frames. These are just images. They're nothing. Remember, we have to make them special. Make them. We got to declare them as something. So all these things have to be framed. That means I'm going to select this image here, right click, and basically frame selection. See, frames is what makes Figma powerful. And any designer that uses Figma will tell you it's all about the frames. Yes, David. XD, no. XD would do it differently. You would open it up on a separate artboard, or you can do an interactive thing with XD. This is where the two really differentiate. This is where Figma is very different than XD because it's got frames. XD doesn't have frames, so that's why you can't compare the two in that sense. Should I tell you that frames is better than XD? Yeah, I didn't think so at first, but now that I see how frames work, frames are cool. Just think of it, frames are like containers. So instead of me just calling you by your name, now I'm giving you a last name, you're a student, you live in an address, you have a phone number, you have more options. You're like a package. So you're packaging each item in a frame. That's what makes it more, I guess, interactive. You understand? So frames. Notice how my artboard is also a frames too. Now you don't have to frame everything. Just frame the things that you need to. In this case, my portfolio items should be framed. Do I have to frame these too or no? What do you think? No, I just have to frame these because these are the ones that the special integration is applied on. So the big ones I frame, the small ones, I mean, you could, you're just doing more work that's not needed. Just frame the big things that come in as interactive tools. Does that make sense? So frame the big stuff. So right click, frame selection, Command Option G, right? Same thing here, right click, frame selection, right click, frame selection, and yeah, you can name the frame, call it, book cover project, term 1 or something like that, right? Whatever the thing is. Frame selection, and frame selection. Now I have 6 frames made from those 6 images outside of my, it's like my cutting board, let's call it, right? So now I'm able to integrate the portfolio showcase that will really create a classic, okay, timeless execution. Because this worked 10 years ago and it still works today because I still see it. So let's start with the first image. You ready? First image, go to this image, right? All you do is you drag it over to this frame. On click, not navigate to. This time we're going to do what's called open overlay. Open overlay means open it on top of that location. It's called open overlay. Make sense? Some people use it with menus. I prefer the menus to be done differently. I'll give you my take on that later with the mobile conversion. But for images and portfolios, this works really, really well. So open overlay, okay, which is frame 3, instance. I can have it move in like an animation, right? Let's have an animate, or let's have dissolve. Dissolve means like it fades in nicely, right? So let's try the move. I like the move tactics. So it moves in from, I guess, the left, sure. Okay, ease in and out. 300 milliseconds, you give a timer, okay? Where do you want it centered? Yeah, we'll do a centered. Centered is good, right? Because we measured it that way. You can also click other options as well. And look at this one, guys. Look at this. Close when clicked outside. You can even put a little X and that'll close if you like, but I like to do close when clicked outside, okay? And look at this other thing here. Add a background. This is how the light box works. We're gonna do a 50% dim. 50%, so it's like 50% black, right? It's gonna be like a nice dim thing. Not quite like the Eclipse, but we're gonna get there halfway, right? I wanna keep throwing that at you guys today. It's fresh material, come on. 50%. So reset scroll position, not necessary because we're not really scrolling to a different, this is for more advanced stuff. You could, I'm gonna leave it alone for now. Okay, so if you copy all these attributes and apply them on your next frames or interactions, it should just work the same. Let's try it out. Okay, let's hit the play button. Look at our portfolio here. Let's click on the portfolio section, right? And let's click on one of our portfolio images. And voila, look at that. It just comes right in. Click away, it goes back. Click on the portfolio, it comes right in. Right? Now let's do the other ones the same way. We can just go back and go right there. Pretty good, eh? So now this will be repeated for the rest of the portfolio. So this one, let's just close it here. I'll try a different transition. I'll try different things, okay? So this one will be another overlay. So not navigate, open overlay, okay? This time I'm gonna move it from the left side instead of the right side. Close when clicked, add a background, 50% dim, okay? All right. This next one, same thing. Drag it to this frame. Okay. We're going to do what's called open overlay. Okay. We're going to go all the way to this one. Move it in. This one will be moved in from the top. It's just going to drop. Oh, it's going to come from the bottom here. Okay. And close when clicked outside. Add a background, 50% dim. Okay, this iguana here, or the gecko, will go to this one. Navigate to, no, open overlay. This one's gonna do a dissolve. A dissolve, 300 milliseconds, that's fine, okay? Close when clicked outside, add a background, 50% dim. This one's gonna do another transition. It'll be, again, overlay, right? We'll have it move in. And we'll have it come up from the bottom. Close when clicked outside, add a background, at a 50% black. Just change this one from top there, okay? And lastly, this last one here will be a simple open overlay. I'm just gonna do instant to show you instant instead of all the other transitions. This one will be instant. I won't do any animation. Sometimes you might like instant kind of overlay, right? So instant overlay, close when clicked outside, add a background, 50% black, right? And centered, yes. It'll look like this when you're done. All these different hooks and links. But the main thing is you go back to design, you click the play button, and this could be basically your portfolio, right? So now if we go back, let's navigate first, different parts of our portfolio. You can go from anywhere to anywhere, which is great. And of course, these things open up and move in just like that, just like that. See, look, left, right, drop down. You can do different things. This one's gonna go, look, this is a nice one, dissolve, right? This is from the bottom up. We exported all 6 different variations. And lastly, this one, instant. Right? So this is how you can execute your whole gallery, just like that. Just like Adobe, a portfolio website has something like that. And yes, this links externally to your social media, right? And everything else connects to your, whatever you want to connect it to. Let's say you have a resume and you want to download a PDF. Link it to a PDF. Maybe you have to have a server. You link it to the PDF, copy the URL on your server. It's going to open the PDF in a separate tab. Right? This thing is going to be just the same thing as you did in Adobe. So open up the PDF and you can then download it, whatever you want to do. Okay? So now, how do we make this a mobile website? How do we convert a desktop version to a mobile version? This will be a very nice recording today because it covers everything in a nutshell and then some with the portfolio execution. Any questions so far before I continue? Yeah.
Links, links
No.
So I could do my portfolio page with pictures and then get to my website.
Technically, yeah. Right? Nice, right? Yeah. Plug and play.
We're allowed to do that to our events on.
You could if you want, yeah. If you have additional stuff. I mean, this should act as its own entity.
Okay, so no. What I was basically just trying to do is make a portfolio for the whole website, or like a prototype for the whole website, and then on the portfolio page, be like, here is a grid link to Behance where you can click on a grid.
Right.
But I feel like you don't want that. On everything.
I want to see you use the methods I taught you to demonstrate what you've learned in my class.
It also says 8 pages on the thing, and not like that. That's a lot of pages.
So if you calculate this one here, I will calculate sections as pages. Because this is already 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, that's 10. Do you get it?
Why is that 6? We're like, oh, I see.
So when I say, because people confuse pages and elements, I mean, you can say elements, but then they say, oh, what do you mean pages? Because traditionally, we would put pages as separate pages. Like, this is more like a modern portfolio design.
The reason I'm looking for shortcuts is just the amount of content that I can put into my website would be a ridiculous amount of time to try and rebuild it.
Oh, Figma.
Or Figma.
But if you copy and paste it, it shouldn't be that long. Like, look how fast I did this. And I made up my own stuff. I mean, you already have the stuff ready. Just drag and drop it over.
There's like a ton.
Okay, so you don't have to really mirror the exact thing, but at least make it visual and pretty much demonstrate that you can do it. I'm not looking for, hold on a second, you missed a semicolon on that statement. I don't care, okay? Get it? Okay. Okay, mobile conversion. I'm gonna use the frame tool again, right here. Right, I'm gonna draw a frame, and this will be a mobile website. So I'm gonna go here to my frame here and make it an iPhone 8. You know why iPhone 8? Because it looks nice and relevant to, let me make it bigger actually. iPhone 8 Plus, iPhone 14, iPhone 13, or iPhone 14 Plus. Okay, I guess it looks like all the other ones are pretty all similar in size. Okay. So this will be my, and I should name this mobile, right? And I should name this one here desktop. Okay. I do have my naming convention properly done because that's important. So this is where the mobile version will be. As you know, the mobile will have a little hamburger button, the hamburger button. So that's going to be right in the corner here. I'm just going to mirror this design here quickly. And yes, this will be, you know, the height will be 140. The width will be 428. The little hamburger button is going to be right over here. So here's the thing about the hamburger menu button. It's a little special because it's different the way it opens up. Okay. You can introduce it as a slide-in component like I do with the images. But I find the problem with that is not as interactive as a component would be. So because I already demonstrated the slide-in components for the portfolio gallery, I'm going to show you a more advanced method to do like a little menu, okay? So for that one, I already have something set up from before. I'm just going to go back here quickly and open it and use my example here that I already constructed for you. I just have to find it. I believe it's right here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is what I made. I already made an example for this. Right. That's fine. This is being recorded, so you can watch it later. Okay, all right, good luck. So this is what I made. Let me show you this quick little example that I made to demonstrate how this menu works. And then I'm going to dress it up with, you know, content and stuff like that. But this is the most critical part to make the button work like a menu like you have in your phone. So let's see how this works. So there's your artboard. You click on this little button, a menu opens up. You click on it, it closes anytime. This works independently as you see it like this, open, close. Not only that, you can go through different pages and you can always close the menu, right? That's what I love about components, because they carry everything compacted in one element, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do this right now on your portfolio version. So to do that, I'm gonna basically let's get into this first. So this is a group component, okay? And in there you'll have other components, okay? So you have like a variation of a component. I'm gonna go to prototype to show you how this works, to zoom in. Okay, so all I did was made a box here and I linked it to, on click, it changes to property 1, okay? And it's instant. You can also do, you know, animate, dissolve, all that kind of stuff. So this just changes to that one. And when the X is clicked on, it changes back to that one. So it's a simple on-click action that changes the property from one to the next. So the X will serve as a button, and this will serve as a button, right? So let's execute it now. First, I'm going to go back here. So long file. I'm going to start with on the side here. I'm going to build this thing on the side. I'm going to use a simple rectangle element. Okay, I'm going to move it here to make sure it's the right size. Perfect. Perhaps make it a touch darker so it stands out a bit more. Nice, like that. Zoom in, right? So again, now that it's the right size, I'm going to move it over here. Right? And to make it look like a little hamburger button, we'll put the 3 stripes because that's what they use in all those examples. I'm going to draw a line going across, just a simple line element. I'm going to increase the stroke value to 5, so it's nice and thick. And I'm going to make these edges here round and round. You see they're both from, and oh look, by the way, if you want to do arrows, you can do arrows and all kinds of different things, right? You can do, look, you can do arrows like that, just in case you want to do some cool stuff, right? The next previous buttons and whatever. So this is all here under the line tool, but I'm going to go none for now. I meant round. And then when I have one done, I'm going to option drag it here and Command D one more time. So all these 3 things now will be perfectly, you know, centered alongside this, like that. And you can, of course, use the align options to do the same thing. Now this, my friends, will be all called the component here. So I'm going to make this a component. Get it? Okay. So make it a component. So to do that, you can right-click and what's called a create components, or go up here and create components. And now that it's a component, we have to create another variation of that component. So that's called add variant. Remember we did this like a few weeks ago with the UI kit? Add variant. So add a variant, and then it adds a second duplicate of the same thing. Remember like the switch on and off or the buttons? But in this case, we're going to change this variant to look like something else. So in that case, I'm going to make this a little bigger, just to zoom out here. Give it some room. See, this is just a space. It doesn't matter what you do here. I mean, it does, but you got to be kind of in tune with what's going on. So I'm going to make this bigger to make more room for this menu to show up on this side. Because the menu will be a different design, right? And this will be, the different design will be here. Let me just delete it here. Maybe I'll delete these things here. I'm going to make this look like a menu, so it drops down. Around the corners maybe a bit. Okay. I'll keep it nice and simple, actually. There we go. All right. So this will be my drop-down menu. Okay. And I'm going to put some buttons right now, so they'll navigate to the respective section. So I'm going to go right here and type, just mimic the same thing as my website. Okay. So I'm going to go. This is the home button. Okay. It's going to go right over here. Home. Right. Option, drag, shift. Watch this, Command D, Command D. And if it doesn't add up, you just simply, you know, try a different formation or something like that. Maybe tweak the positioning. You know, you can pretty much do whatever you want here, right? Bio, portfolio, barely fit, and contacts, right? Those are the 4 main things you want to have in your portfolio, I said, right? And if they're all too big, then I can make them a little smaller by using my Command Shift less than shortcuts. As a matter of fact, I'll make them 22 points down here on the bottom left corner. Keep in mind, this is a mobile design. So I'm gonna keep it nice and simple. Yeah, let's make them bold, semi-bold. Okay, so now this and this will be linked together here. So this here also will be a component. Oh, this is the variant. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Okay, so this variant carries this group section. Get it? And this one here carries the hamburger menu. So basically, there's the default and variant too. Very similar to the things we did a few weeks ago with the UI kits. Okay, the difference is this is a more expanded design, so it has like a menu basically. Okay, all right. So now let's connect the two very easily. We click on the default state. We go to prototype, and we set this to. Remember the little arrow? Drag it to this state. Navigate. On click, change to variant 2. Instance. Let's do smart animate. Ease in and ease out. Sure. We'll do a smart animate. I like to do the smart animate, and we'll leave it alone at that. And then we'll put a little X to close it. Okay. And the X is gonna go, should be on the top left corner, but I'll keep it to the top right corner. Why not? Just to be different. Go back to design. I'm gonna go use the line tool again and just draw some X's over here. Make this maybe 2 pixels. Make them round on both edges, right? And just option drag this over. Let's switch it over to the other side. And this will be the X factor. All right. And this I'll make it into a component as well, right? Or I group it. I'll just hit Command G. I'll group this. Okay. I should go in this variant 2. Go. Gotta be careful sometimes where you drag this stuff in. So variant 2, yes. Variant 2. It keeps disappearing on me there. Try it again. Group. Cut. I just want to paste it inside here. So it's part of this. So I'm going to go inside this one here. So sometimes you have to go inside this area here and just paste it in there. And it should be there. What the heck? Maybe it doesn't like the fact that it's not separate. Let me just quickly here. It's getting a little stubborn here, guys. Let me just ungroup it. Here. Fine. Okay, I'll just put it here inside the components. 1. Oh, there we go. I just have to scroll down. Okay, so this now, and I locked it. That's why I couldn't select it here. Okay. So these two, I'm going to basically group them. Now I can group them. Okay, so it's just easier to select. And this will be connect. This will close the menu. Okay, that's what the X will do. So I'm going to go ahead and do what's called the prototype. Okay, and I'm going to connect this to this one. Change it back basically. Okay, so change to property 1 default. I'll do a smart animate, ease in and out, 300 milliseconds. Okay, perfect. So this one, this hamburger menu opens this menu here, so it changes it to variant 2, and inside variant 2 we put a little X, and this little X that marks this X box here will close it and go back to that one. So basically we have to execute this to do that. When I'm done this lesson, I'm gonna upload this for today's lesson so you can get a real example of the file, okay? So you can have this file for you, and you can break it up and dissect it and do whatever you want with it, okay? Because it gets a little technical, I get it. Took me a few times to get this right myself. This gets finicky sometimes. You gotta be very aware, careful about where you put things. That's why I look at my layers all the time. Okay, so again, let's just double check. So we got the hamburger button, and we have the variant 2 ready to go. Make sure they're all nicely tucked away like the way you see them right here. And this is all under components. We're gonna go ahead and name this hamburger menu, right? That's just the name of it now. So having said that, I'm gonna bring the hamburger menu inside here by simply going to the assets and dragging this hamburger menu, go back to design, all the way here. You can put on the right, left, whatever position you like. Yeah, I'll put it to the left. Okay, let's test it now. Click on this mobile menu, press the play button, and there it is. Okay. Close it. Open it, close it. How cool is that, right? It opens up. You can have it more instant if you want, or you can just have it more like a transition. There. I like instant, actually. I mean, I don't mind this, but instant's nice too, but whatever. I mean, you can pick between either one. And all you're doing now is repeating the same stuff that we did on this one, right? Just dragging pictures and elements and boxes. I'm going to do something very simple here, just to, this will be, maybe I'll use this image, option, drag it over here, resize it here like that. And this will be like the home page. A little bit of text. Which content you have depends. This is that one there. Then we have like a portfolio. What I will do for the mobile version for your well, let's put the bio first, right? Let me just make it smaller here. 50, right? All right, what I'll do for the bio page is simply just do the same thing, just make it nice and easy, right? Copy and paste this text over here, right? For the portfolio, I'm gonna do like a nice little, like one of those carousel things. And I'll do a simple, I'm not gonna do an advanced version because I know there's a lot of time that you have to invest in that, so we'll keep it simple, but it's still effective, okay? This is how I'll do it. So watch this. The frame is the key. Frame, remember, frames is your way out for this stuff. Frame, frames, frames. So for the portfolio section, I'm gonna make some room here. I'm gonna move this hamburger button over. Don't delete this, because this resides everything that you need. So what I'm gonna do is grab these guys, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? And copy them over here. I'm going to make sure my prototype is disabled. I'm going to delete these strings because I'm not going to have these strings work like that. Right? These will be just strings, and this is going to be like this. Right? You might need some more room. That's fine. Just make some more room. I'm going to delete these two because I'm running out of space. Yeah, I'll just stick with the dental, okay, theme. So there's my portfolio. It's going to look like that. But even these 3 pictures here should be framed. So that's why you got to right click and frame the selection. As long as your gallery is, frame it. In this case, I'm going to do just that. Frame it, right? And then go back to design here, and you can actually clip the content once this goes back here. So it stops right there, it clips just like normally, all the things are clipped by default. So is this artboard. That's an artboard in an artboard or a frame. And also with the prototype, you're going to scroll with parent, but overflow will be horizontal because it's going to scroll horizontally. Get it? Like an image gallery. So I'm going to scroll this. You can all do both directions. Both directions means vertical and horizontal, but horizontal in this case. So that's how we're going to integrate the portfolio gallery on the mobile app. Lastly, the contact page will be, simple, just the same thing here. Contact. All right, and we'll have a little image here. And that's the contact page. Right? And yeah, sure, copyright 2023. Put that right on the bottom. So nobody steals your work, right? And then we're going to go over here, right up to the top. All right, all done. So mobile version should reflect the desktop version as far as, layout, style, design, colors. But this is what, in a nutshell, you'll end up with. Of course, you're going to do a better job than me because you have, weeks to do this. And I'm doing this in hours at the same time to demonstration purposes. And you already have this already in your head. You mapped it all out. You did it on your website. You're doing it in your other class. You just have to reflect it and do your best to reflect it the best way you can. If it looks a little different, I'll be mindful of that because I know these things happen simultaneously. In real life, you would do this first and then build a website after. Do you understand? But this is not how these things are synced. You're just learning the tools to get this done. All right, so let's go ahead and press the play button now. And this will look like the mobile app version, right? So we're gonna go here, nice and scrollable. Oh, the portfolio, let's see what's here. Oh, you can scroll through left and right, and you can even then click on these to open them, but because they're big, you don't have to. You don't have to, but you could use the same trick as the desktop. You can click and overlay the image, but the size that it is right now, I think it's fine, okay? Portfolio. Or you can have external links. You can put links on this if you want, okay? Then you have the contact info. And more importantly, you have this. Oh, what's happening here? You have to put at the very front, right? So I'm going to do that. And then I still haven't linked my sections, so I will do that next. I'm still not quite done. So let's zoom in here. Oh, and this should like stick too, should not move. So I'm going to select these 2 things. Go to my design here. Right click, frame selection. And I'll put this at the very, very, very top. Okay, so it's framed. Hope it doesn't mess up my interactive stuff. Oops. I did move it. I mean, I should have done this before. There we go. Okay, so it's good now. Perfect. But shouldn't this work? Shouldn't it, when I click on portfolio, shouldn't it go to portfolio, right? I should have this work as the menu will navigate to different parts of my app, my mobile app. So therefore, let's go ahead and do that. So here's how you do that. You double click on your menu and you just link it the same way you did with the other one. The only thing is you're linking the actual artboards. So be careful because we didn't make the sections. Remember the sections we have to make? So I'm going to go ahead and make the sections inside here with the I guess, the frame tool. Just gonna cover it quickly just to kind of do the. Oh, by the way, this also will be fixed, just to keep it fixed. Prototype. There we go. Fixed, stay in place. The menu should be fixed, of course. Now these will be linked, okay? So this will go to, oh, this one here. Click here. Scroll to. For this one, I can't scroll it because it's going to be a separate menu there. So I would have to do this directly here. So do me a favor, don't worry about this working for now, because this has to go to separate sections. The scroll works only for when it's within this, because this is a separate component, so it can't relate to this. And this has been a problem with Figma. There's a workaround, but you have to make separate sections. So do me a favor, if you demonstrate it here, don't worry about here. Just make the menu work, it's fine, okay? I can make it go to a separate section if I make another page or something like that. Because this works if it's separate artboards. If it's one long one like this, it's external, it doesn't relate to it. You understand? So if I show you how it works, I mean, it has to be, let me just quickly demonstrate. I'll do another version so you kind of know the complete method. So I'm going to go here and do, let's say this one here. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, okay? So we'll make like 3 pages. And this is going to be that section there. I'm going to delete this just so you have everything. And this one is not going to have this one here. I think I made an artboard by accident. So this is going to be over here. This is the bio section. This will be the portfolio section, right? So see, I'm making separate pages here, basically. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to make this move them over here a little more. Right? This will be bio mobile, right? This is portfolio mobile, and this is contact mob. I'm going to give you this file, okay, just so kind of you're clear on these two differences. If you do a scrolling thing, unfortunately, the menu is not going to work. It's only going to work on separate pages. There's other ways to do that, but you have to do it within the website. If you do the menu, that works too. Maybe next week I'll clarify this a little better if you guys are still confused, but because there's so many different ways to do this, right? So I'm going to stick with this option here just because this is going to work. 4 separate pages, basically, that's what's happening. Maybe for the sake of the exercise, we'll call this the home page. Oops. All right. Home. So that's what I'm saying. You got to make, and of course, you would expand your artboards based on the content that you have, and that's fine. But if you're going to use this menu, this works better within this kind of environment. So you make multiple pages, basically. Just like you did with the group app project, you have multiple pages, right? And this is your hamburger menu, and that's what's going to work. Whoops. Right? Because the lengthy one works in a different scenario. I forgot that this one works with artboards. Okay. So here we go. Let's make this to work now. So basically the home page will go to home, right? Navigate to mobile home. Let's call this mobile home. Home mobile, right? Okay. The bio section We'll go to the bio page, of course. And the portfolio, we'll go to portfolio. And the contact, we'll go to contact. And that's all you have to do. Just connect the artboards together and you should have no problems. And the menu is already self-integrated. So what's really smart about this is this menu could be really used for multiple things. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this home page button example just by simply clicking on the play button. So here it is. You open the menu up, you close it, right? You go to home, right? Or you go to bio, portfolio, right? Contact. You can have the menu close if you want and open whenever you wish to open it at the same time. Right. I think the home button, I gotta fix it. And that's pretty much how you can link all your stuff together on this thing. Let me just double check this link here. I think I accidentally, because I renamed it after the fact. There we go. Basically. Oh, that's right, because it's sitting on top of it. Anyways, like if I move it down a bit, it'll work. Anyhow. So this is how you can do a mobile design. I mean, you can do a scrollable one, but then you have to have this menu slide in, as we did with these images down here. The way this is set up, it's a simple navigation of this. I'm gonna maybe tweak this, maybe fix it because we're running out of time, and I'll upload it. But for now, I'm gonna save this as a local copy, and then you can upload this and open it up in your programs. So I'm gonna do what's called oh, there we go. Local copy, there it is. Yeah. If you make it nice and long and content-wise, you could, yeah. But just make, like I did, but my navigation wasn't working quite. But you can make it one long one, yeah. Okay. Portfolio, desktop, and mobile. Okay. So I'm going to upload this file for you guys to have. Okay. So you can jig it and tweak it and use it if you want. So this basically demonstrates everything that you need to do. Of course, do your own. Please add more to it. This is just an example. But with these tools alone, you can do a nice portfolio. Okay. All right. So that wraps up today's lesson. We'll have one more class next week. It's more like a, goodbye. I don't like saying goodbyes, but we'll have a little get together. I'll bring some candies if I find any or something like that. Huh? Like last semester. Yeah, we used to do presentations. Hey, you guys, chocolates. Yeah, yeah. I think I dropped by. That's right. That was around the holidays time too, right? So we'll see you all then. So keep up the positive and the great effort so far, and let's have a strong finish with the semester. And I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now, and have a great week ahead.